Get ready for one more pleasant day across Central Oregon before we start to get some changes to our weather pattern, getting a little unsettled and then active as we go through this weekend. And some of those big changes do include cooler conditions, stronger winds, more precipitation. So we're about to take a deep dive in your most reliable forecast because we are going from absolutely gorgeous to the potential for getting a little bit of snow in the lower elevations. Not much in the way of totals, but a huge shift in that pattern. So let's start off with what we're seeing right now across the high desert. Tons of sunshine, not a cloud in the sky. Now there is a little bit of haze. That haze can be seen from cameras all over the Tri-County area, and it's partially due to this ridge of high pressure that's just anchored over the Pacific Northwest. High pressure is known for bringing subsidence, which means sinking air, as well as stability, no cloud development or limited cloud development, and sunshine. Sunshine is what we have, and sunshine is what's been bringing our temperatures well above average. Now, even with that haze, we've had a few sensors that are coming down to moderate. You can see one on the east side of Bend that's yellow, but outside of that, both the real-time sensors and the hourly average have been showing green. Good air quality. Even looking at the purple air sensors, we don't have too much to worry about at all. Even though this high pressure keeps stagnant air over the region, we haven't seen much in the way of a decrease, and we do not see much in the way of cloud cover through the entire tri-state area till you hit that small tail end of a little front over northern Washington. Now, skip this front, go to the one that's further out over the Pacific Ocean. That's the one we're going to be tracking through the next couple of days. When we look at the bigger picture, though, we can see that the axis, the ridge axis, where the high pressure centered has been pushing gradually off to the east. And when we focus on the isobars, we have just a light breeze. But when we look out over the Pacific Ocean, there's a very broad ridge of high pressure. Meanwhile, we have this weak front, series of weak fronts. What's going to happen is the one that I was just pointing out is actually going to redevelop into a low pressure system and roll into the region. But it's extremely dry out there, and our relative humidity values are in the teens and 20s. If this was a month ago or 2 months ago, we'd start to say that we're getting down to critically low relative humidity. It is dry, but I'm not too worried about fire weather conditions at this time, especially with a light breeze. Meanwhile, temperatures are sitting in the 70s for the last 24 hours, highs in the 70s, and this puts us well above average for this time of the year. Now, temperatures right now are sitting in the 70s with some 60s on the map, and so we're on the downhill side of the day for parts of the Tri-County area. Meanwhile, when we go ahead and just look back the last 24 hours, temperatures are running between 4 and 12 degrees warmer than this time on Monday. And with that kind of warm up, that's what put us not just above average for this time of the year, but pleasantly warm on the high desert. Now tonight it gets chilly again. By tomorrow we're in the lower 70s and upper 60s. Some mid 70s are possible, and so that represents a modest dip in temperatures. Not too bad. It's not the big cool down we're waiting on, but ultimately it is going to bring some changes. So even our school bus forecast shows 40s to start the day with some 30s earlier. So areas of frost are expected. It will be chilly, but it's going to be another round of pleasant conditions with afternoon temperatures in the 70s and some 60s. Now winds will be breezy at times, but the stronger winds come with the more active weather pattern that we're expecting as we wrap up the work we can go into the weekend. And it all has to do with that weak front that I was pointing out. If we looked at a satellite and radar, it'd be right about where this low pressure is. It's actually transitioning into a low. That low works its way south. As it does that, we catch more cloud cover tomorrow, and there's going to be a mixture of sunshine and clouds. Sun to start the day, some PM clouds, still pleasant, still 70s and some 60s. By Thursday, it gets even cooler, 60s with a few 50s and a couple 70s possible. Breezy at times and showers. Where you get the showers, it's going to be cooler. And then by Friday, we reinforce that with another dip in temperatures. Highs on either side of 60 degrees, and periods of clearing are indeed expected, but more showers are in the forecast. Once that low makes landfall, starts pushing through the high desert, that's when we have even bigger changes and another drop in temperatures, a bigger cool down. So between now and Friday at 11 p.m., most of us are going to get wet, just not quite everybody. We'll talk about that here during the next couple of minutes. But also, today was the peak of our roller coaster temperatures. After today, we start to dip in temperatures. We get the modest dip Wednesday, then 60s Thursday and Friday with some sprinkles. Saturday and Sunday bring showers, some mountain snow, the potential for overnight wintry mix, and 50s for highs. So let's go ahead and time this out. Right now we do have that weak cold front that transitions into a low pressure system and starts to dip south. By Wednesday afternoon we catch some clouds from that, but it's not until Thursday, Wednesday night going into Thursday, that we start to see a chance for some sprinkles. That chance stays with us. It'll be off and on through the rest of Thursday and Friday. Once that system starts to roll inland, it fizzles out, but the moisture stays with us. That cooler air mass continues to impact us, and by Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be much cooler. In fact, when we look at the GFS, the long-range forecast model, it shows that that precipitation stays with us through Saturday night, going into Sunday. Then by Sunday night, this is when we can actually see some snow showers in our lower elevations, and by Monday, still going to be wet. By Tuesday, still looking at showers before we finally start to clear out. So between now and 11 p.m. on Thursday, I already showed you that one. So winds haven't been too bad. Gusts between 10 and really 7 and 15 miles per hour. Not bad at all. Really just a light breeze coming out of the west and the southwest. Now, it hasn't been too strong here in the last several hours. Mostly a light breeze. Tonight we keep that light breeze. By tomorrow, breezy at times. And by Thursday, stronger winds with that incoming system and that next chance of rain. So for tonight, 40s and 30s across the high desert. Wednesday brings us through the 60s, back into the 70s for most of our Tri-County area. Not everybody. That's the modest dip in temperatures that I was talking about. And your 7-day forecast shows that each couple of days we start to see a bigger shift in the weather pattern. So today and tomorrow, these are our pleasant days. By Thursday and Friday, a little unsettled. Some showers, cooler, breezy at times. By Saturday and Sunday, much cooler, wetter conditions, stronger winds expected with mountain snow in the forecast and even some wintry mix in our low elevations. We're going from 77 degrees, 76 degrees as an average high temperature today to 50 as an average high temperature by Monday. And it happens sequentially, and it happens with back-to-back systems impacting the Pacific Northwest. So your weather headlines for this Tuesday, October the 7th, our fall warming, that peaks today. We have one more pleasant day expected, then the cooler pattern begins on Thursday with some showers. Winds will be breezy at times. It's going to be wetter, but it's not until this weekend that we see the big changes in our forecast pattern. That's the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News, one of the latest headlines and your most reliable forecast. See you then.